Everybody, thanks for coming. This is Neil Griffiths.
That was quick, wasn't it, Lucy? Right, good morning.
Morning.
Now, let me just make you a little promise before we go any further. This will go so fast that you will not know you've been here, right? It's going to whiz by, so don't think I'm going to be boring, because I'm not, okay? But I'm going to make you a second big promise. I'm going to change you forever. So that is a big promise, isn't it? Now, as I used to be a head teacher, one of the things I used to love is having the whole school in assembly and saying good morning, and the children sing it back to you, don't they? Good morning, Mr. Griffiths. So to make me feel good, I'm going to do my head teacher's face, and then I'd like you to sing good morning, Mr. Griffiths. So are we ready? It's assembly. Let's start off as we mean to go on. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr. Griffiths.
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, I can't. Do you know, I hate that when they go on and flipping on. Good morning, friends. Good morning, world. Shut up. Goodness sake. Well, it's not very often that I get such an amazing email that I instantly say yes to something. But when Stevie sent me an email, it was so lovely. You know, it was one of those ones that makes you sort of want to start to snivel. You know, I know you won't come. I know how busy you are. We really love you, and it would make my whole life, and I'll probably kill myself if you don't. But that it was such a lovely email. You could sense the person just, because emails are sometimes very frustrating because you don't really know what they're like. But I knew what Stevie was like, and of course I could say yes. And I can't tell you just how glad I am to be here. You might not believe it. You know, I've had to drive from Wiltshire, but it was lovely. I couldn't wait to come just because I knew what sort of place this was, because Stevie had given me that lovely feel. And I just want to show you why the heck I'm even stood here, okay? Because people say I'm the creator of story sacks. I am not the creator. I might have started the idea off, but all of you are the creators. You're the ones that make them happen. All I did, and I feel embarrassed about this, all I did was sit on a train one day, because this is how it happened. I went to a conference in London because I felt like a day off. When you're a head teacher, you deserve the odd one off. And I was skiving. I only went because it said buffet lunch provided. No, look at me. Buffet lunches are an attraction, okay? And I thought, oh, buffet lunch. I live in Swindon, which is one of the most depressing cities in the United Kingdom. The chance to go on a train to London, you nearly wet your pants. So off I went to London to a conference on family literacy, just when it was beginning. And I was inspired. In fact, I wanted to smash the speaker's face in because he made me feel guilty, which was good, because he was talking about all the things we should be doing with families. And on the train, I had a bag of donuts. Now, don't ask. No, I'm going to tell you why I had that bag of donuts. Listen to this, because you would get them as well. One day only, Paddington Station, Tesco's Express, 20 donuts, 89 pence. Now, you don't mess about, do you? And I went in and thought, I got 2 bags, because I thought I'd get the staff some. So I got 40 donuts. Now, the staff never got them, but I don't feel guilty about it. But on the train, coming back, I was thinking about all the things I'd love to do with parents. And one of the things I wanted to do was bring stories to life with parent and child, take the pressure off, and get the joy back into reading. And on that train, on a donut bag, I wrote the name Story Sack. Now, that's all I did. Did a few little drawings of stick people climbing into a bag. And before I knew, I'd gone back to school. I'd cornered 2 mothers, Judith and Sue. And I did like you did, Stevie. I went, Sue, Judith, I know you won't be able to help with this, but it's for the children. Well, they weakened. And they made the very first story sack. Well, before we knew it, we had 90 different story sacks made by the Brownies made some. Well, they got 3 badges on one night. No, make a story sack. They get 3 badges for doing a story sack. They get Jester's badge for entertainment. They got craft badge for making, and then because they gave us cakes and biscuits, they got their hostess badge. So 3 badges in a night. Well, we got all sorts of groups making us story sacks. We had 90 story sacks, and the children loved them. I used to love seeing the children They used to hold them in two ways in nursery and reception, either like this, because they were almost as big as some of they were, or they did it like, you know, hi-ho, off to work we go, behind their backs. I used to love seeing nursery and reception, and they used to go, Mr. Griffiths, I got that one today. It was lovely. Well, word spread like you, and I don't know, I know why word spread. I went to see the manager of Marks and Spencer's because they got a community fund. And I said, look, we'd like to get other schools going. He gave me £1,000 there and then, signed a cheque. So we helped other schools get going as well. And before you knew it, I had a phone call to dream of. Imagine sitting at your desk and a man says to you, hi, it's Alan on the phone. Would you like a year off? I said, yes, please. I didn't know who Alan was. I didn't know what he wanted me to do. I couldn't have given a damn. I said, yeah. My lovely secretary, Yvonne, said, bye. It's been lovely. Go in. Well, the government loved this idea of story sacks, and they said, have a year going around the country telling people about it. And we were so overwhelmed. I kept thinking it's only a little bag. But I don't think I realised in the early days just the potential of that little sack. And we now estimate they're in about 90 countries around the world. That's the ones we know about. There's even a Laplander story sack where some of the Laplanders make them, and the outside bag is reindeer skin. So Rudolph has to be sliced up. It's worth it, because they eat him anyway, so they might as well use the skin for something. I've seen native Canadian, Indian story sacks. But my favourite story sack is made by mums in the townships in South Africa. Very, very poor. And they've made me a story sack, and they sent it me in the post. It's all made of rubbish, because that's all they'd got, off of rubbish tips. Amazing what you can do from nothing. But I want to show you why I was destined to think of story sacks in the foot. There was a reason. I'm meant to be here, all right? Because my little life, everything about it was saying, Neil, one day you're going to think of a thing and it'll go a long way. Because it was thanks to my dad. And I'm going to show you me and my dad. And before I do, I want you to know something. I did used to look like a girl. So don't say anything and be spiteful. I also used to be pretty, and I know I'm not anymore. So again, don't say anything. Don't even think it. When I show you this picture, you're all going to go, ah. Right, we'll show this side. You're ready? Look, look. Look. What happened? It's cruel, isn't it, life? And you'd have thought, oh, he's going to have a lovely head of hair. It's cruel. I miss that big curl at the back. Is it there? But I can't feel it. Is it? But look, I got noddy jammers on. Look, and look at me wallpaper. It's Beatrix Potter. Well, there's my dear old dad, who actually brought me up on his own. He was a single parent, unheard of really in those days. But I have just met my mother after 50-something years. So I have met her again, and it's good because she's 86, and I don't think, it's long to go. So I have met my mum again. But there's me lovely dad. And my lovely dad gave me everything that has made me who I am. He was a wonderful man, brought up not by his mum and dad either. He was brought up by his grandma. And she obviously was amazing because she gave my dad the passions that he then gave to me and my brother. I've got one brother. But there he is in his work clothes because he's just come home from work. But what did my dad always do every night, even though he had a full-time job? We were looked after by Auntie Gertie and Auntie Edie. They were next-door neighbours when next-door neighbours spoke to you in the old days. And they liked you, So they looked after us. But as soon as my dad got home, he used to say, are we going to mess about? Imagine a dad that was worn out but wanted to mess about. And by messing about, I mean we used to go and find frog spawn and bring it home in our Wellingtons because it was the only place to put it. Imagine walking home with frog spawn in your Wellington boots. He was that sort of dad. But then he would say those magic words, up them stairs. And me and my brother would race up, and whoever got into bed first and said, I'm ready, they got a story to die for. Now, when I say to die for, I've got two of my childhood books. Here's my favourite, Wind in the Willows. Oh, I love it. And my dad has read that book to me probably 30 times. So his hands have been on it. Makes me feel lovely. He's read. And even though he probably hated it by the second time, he'd do a face, you know, okay, which meant, oh my God. Imagine a dad that just read it again and again, oh. And then this one is his second favourite, Water Babies. And it was all about these children who'd been made to be chimney sweeps. And they didn't want to go up chimneys, so they ran away, and they wanted to get clean, so they threw themselves in a river, and they discovered they could live underwater. Well, my dad read that story as if he was underwater. It involved a lot of spitting. And it used to go over my face, and I liked it. I put my face forward to get spat on. You know, and there's spit all over that book, and my dad's spit's been on it. Isn't it lovely? Now, I was so lucky to have a dad that gave me that start. Because what my dad was giving me was my language, my creativity, and of course my passion for reading. So I was meant to be stood up here promoting the importance of reading because, you know, my dad was preparing. Now, I've written now 33 children's little picture books. I wouldn't have done that without my dad because he gave me, you know, I'm the sort of person that, and my dad encouraged it, if you give me an orange, I can think of 50 things to do with it. And let's not be unpleasant, but there's 50 things I could do that would excite you. You know, I'm that sort. I can think of like, and the reason I know that is because I was doing training in the Gambia in Africa in December, and we were stood under an orange tree, and I thought, imagine being under an orange tree doing training. And I thought of 50 things to do with an orange. It was lovely. We made jewellery. Oh, I looked lovely in dangly earrings. We did so. So my dad gave me that sort of imagination. Now I'm going to make you feel a bit sad. And then I'm going to lift you, okay? But you need a partner for this activity. Now, don't worry, this is not a warm-up exercise. I cannot stand warm-up. And where's our tutors? Tutors, can you please not do something? Don't do warm-up activities in your sessions where people have to get to know the person next to you. I cannot stand those courses. I don't want to know the person next to me. Or what's worse is when we sit in a circle and let's everybody say who we are. Why? I'm not there to know who 30 people are. So don't panic. This is not a warm-up. But would you hold hands with, you can be in 2s or 3s, but not 4s. Hold hands with someone, that's it. Bond, get to know someone. We all got someone. Right, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Do you know what this always reminds me of? I only do this, I don't want you to hold hands at all, but it reminds me of what it's like working with children. Because people say to me, do you miss them? Of course I do, but you were worse than the children then. Because I said hold hands, I didn't say make a fuss. I didn't say be silly, as some of you were. Some of you were talking, I didn't ask you to talk. We had sweaty hands, what was all this? Everyone's sweaty. Yeah. Then some of you panicked because you thought no one wanted you. You were going, oh God, who's going to want me? Others got a partner straight away and looked all, I have a partner. I saw you. Worse than the children. Right, so the person you held hands with is going to be your little thinking partner. So if you've got someone dopey, swap them for the person the other side. You don't want a dopey soul with you. Okay. Now, I'm going to make you feel sad. They estimate that not far off, half the children in the United Kingdom are hardly ever read to by their parents. Not far off a half. Isn't that upsetting? And that's why I know how lucky I was. They estimate that just under 10% of children don't have a single book of their own that's theirs in the United Kingdom. They estimate that 1 in 7 dads have only ever read to their children. Big issue with male role models for reading. And, you know, we hope that parents are out there supporting children, but do you know what's even more depressing? I often do talks to parents all the time, and the ones that come are the ones that are doing it. So they sit there when I say, you know, a lot of parents do, they're doing this, oh, I do. I can see that, well, no, I do. So I unpick it a bit and I say to the parents who think they're reading to their children, I say, but of course you always do it with enthusiasm and joy, don't you? You don't ever go, hurry up to your children, do you? You don't ever rush it, do you? You don't ever have inside, oh God, come on, let's do this and get it over with. You don't ever rush past a couple of pages hoping you'll get to the end of the book quickly. You don't ever read with the voice of a dying wasp in the hope that it'll put them to... And then what you actually do is you realise even those parents reading to their children aren't often doing it very willingly and sadly not very well. So there is quite a depressing picture when you look at what are parents engaging in terms of developing a love of reading with their children. It's quite depressing. And we do know that fewer children are reading for pleasure. There's been quite a noticeable drop. Now, I'm going to ask you the first question, so get ready with your partner, and last chance to swap them if they were, dopey, okay? So, with your partner, would you answer this question? Why do you think fewer children are reading for pleasure? Tell your partner why. Right, timer. Don't waffle. For goodness sake. Now, to save time, I'll just give you the answer. It'll save us messing about. Okay, 4 main thrusts are getting in the way of reading. Now, you all know the first one, because I could hear you saying it, technology. Okay? And technology both attracts and distracts children. And what we now know is children who are overexposed to technology lose out in terms of their language skills, their social skills, but also they've seen that children who are addicted to screens are likely to be very addictive throughout their lives to all sorts of things. It actually affects the way that the front brain develops. So we know there's some disturbing stuff about overexposure to technology. But the second reason, because there's 4, the second reason is time. We simply are not devoting enough time to developing our children's love of reading. Now, you are going to make me a promise, all of you, so would you raise your hand? Everybody, don't make me make you. Staff included, please. Right up. Hold your hand. I know you're filming, but get your hand up, Stevie.
It might go wobbly.
I don't care if it wobbles. You're going to say after me, Neil.
Neil.
I promise.
I promise.
That wherever I end up working.
Wherever I end up working.
Or if I have children.
Or if I have children.
Or if I've already got them.
Or if I've already got them.
Neil, I make you a promise.
Neil, I make you a promise.
I will read a story.
I will read a story.
To them every day.
To them every day.
And it'll be the best possible.
And it'll be the best possible.
Thank you. Because we are simply not... Now, you see, the trouble is that parents think they're devoting time to their children. But what you discover is they're in breakfast club, after school club, they go to ballet on Monday, choir on Tuesday, ice skating Wednesday, brownies on Thursday. And so I ask parents a question that regularly makes them cry. Now, I don't do it on purpose. I say, oh, stop, everybody. When do you spend time with actually just you with your children? And it starts to dawn on them. And I say, no, not when you drop them off and then I said, when are you actually with them, like my dad spent his life with us? And of course you start to unpick and they're hardly ever they don't sit down for a meal with them, they don't play with them. Now, in order to develop a love of reading, it takes time. Here it is, night after night after night after night. And I'll tell you something, my dad sometimes still read me a story when he was 83. Because I loved it. And I said, oh, go on, Dad, it makes me feel good. And he said, oh, shut up. But then he wanted to, really. You know, he never stopped. Because he knew it was a lifelong thing. And, we've got both at home and in the settings that you may work in. Because some settings are doing terrible things. Number one, they've stopped having story time in some settings. They say they can't fit it in. What? The second thing that schools are often doing is they're getting rid of their school library and just sharing the books around the classrooms. What? The library should be, somewhere magical. And thank God, last week I went to the opening of a lovely new library in a school. Oh, it was like Cinderella's palace. It was wonderful. So we've got to devote time. The third reason that we're losing readers is pressure. And you know what? I hate this current government, and I'm not political at all. And I hated the previous ones, and the previous ones, and the previous ones. In fact, I've hated them all my whole education, because it's all about pressure, pressure. And I just want to scream out loud, and I did it in front of a government minister last week. I didn't know he was in the audience, but I would have still done it. I actually said, when are we going to have a childhood? Because our children are being turned into adults before you blink, but they're being pressured. You know, I was with a mum last night who said, oh, this is terrible, look in her homework book. And I went, homework book? It's saying we've got to push her to a 5C. I said, pardon? She's got to get a 5C target for her. I said, this is ridiculous. She's 10. What are we doing? But the pressure's filtering down onto these young, and of course parents pick up on this pressure and think, well, does she know her colours? Should she be writing her name? And parents are all twitchy. And I'm thinking, just enjoy childhood. You know, all these homework policies that are, oh God, homework when you're 6, for God's sake. But parents get very anxious, particularly with reading, and they start to pressure their children, and then anxiety builds in. And then the last reason, because there's 4, and this is going to upset some of you, but I am going to stir you up before you go. What we haven't got are enough practitioners who've got what it takes. And this is the one message that I want everybody in this room to go away with. If you cannot act and perform, I don't want you working with children. Because if I walk into one more setting and I see a limp lettuce leaf in the corner, and this is the practitioner, and do you want to know, this sounds like a stereotype, but I often work with students, and I go, dunno. I go, pardon? Dunno. I said, oh, sorry, are you speaking a foreign language? I go, dunno. Oh, dunno. I had someone a couple of weeks ago, she came on one of my courses. Is this the course we're on? I went, pardon? What, am I on this one? She's shouting. I said, I don't know. She said, well, I don't know. I've just been sent by my manager. I said, well, what course you meant? I don't know. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Now, I will tell you there are too many people in this country working with children who should not be. Okay? We can't get rid of them. That's the problem. You know, but what you have to be, if you're going to be effective with children, is a performer. Because you know I'm performing now. My hands are going, my movement, the way I'm watching you. This is a performance because you want to be inspired this morning, and so do children. Now, you cannot be a limp lettuce leaf, right? So if any of you, and I know this will upset your tutors because you think, my God, we're going to lose half the students. But if there's anyone in this room who thinks, I can't do it, I can't perform, that's fine, go and look after sheep. Do what you're happy, but don't be with children because they deserve better. Now, let's deal with a little issue. Let's deal with this word shyness. Okay? Because I've sensed body language. Don't worry, I watch everybody. I can point out the shy ones because I watch you. I can see those who came in the room, a bit sheepish. Then there were some of you, hi, who actually spoke to me, which I find lovely. When people do at least say hello. Okay? I hate people that walk past me like this. It's so rude. You're in this world to engage with people. And if you're going to work with children, my God, if you've got to let it go. But if you're a bit shy, I'm going to give you a really important message. This will be the best one you've ever had. Get over it. Or get out. Now, by that, I want you to understand something, because I don't want you to think I'm being harsh. But you cannot be shy with children, because the minute the first child walks through the door in the morning, the performance begins. Oh yeah! How you doing? It's a performance. You may feel like death warmed up. Oh yeah! Because what I can't stand is when I go in and see practitioners, I'm having a bad day. I don't care. You're working now, you're with children. Get over it. Because I've had things happen in my life that I would make you cry. I've had real tragedy, but I kept going. You dig deep, you're there for the children. And it is a performance. Now, can I just say one thing? You think it's easy for me because you think I'm an eccentric. If you only knew how shy I was, you'd know how hard I dig. And all my friends will tell you, if they came here, they'd say he's a very shy man. But I perform. I suffer from terrible stage fright, but you wouldn't know it. Even now, after 17 and a half years, I get in the right state, You know, I'm often rushing to the loo. Didn't today, thank goodness. I'll try to say, be back in a minute. But so don't think I think it's easy, because you've got to dig deep. But I don't want any more of this. So I'm seeing a bit of it already. Look me in the eyes, all of you now. Show me you've got the face of a performer. Because that's crucial. And what we've not got enough of people who can perform a story. Because there used to be a programme on television called Jack and Nori. And you're so young, most of you, but Jack and Nori had the best storytellers imaginable. And there was no cartoons, just the odd picture flicked in, but we were like this. Listen to every word, because they were magical. And you've got to be magical. Okay, I've depressed you. Now I'm going to lift you. Okay? I'm going to help you, because it's only 3 things I'm going to ask you to do today. And that's not a lot, is it? If you want to help children love reading, there's only 3 things you've got to do. Number 1, and it's the most important, every one of you in this room have got to be the best advert for reading imaginable. I want reading to ooze out of every one of your orifices. I want you to look delicious about reading. Now, what's wonderful is, it's not what you're reading, it's the way you read it. And so I'd like to show you what I buy every week, okay? This is my little, and I love it, and I look good with it. It's the Heat magazine. Now, some of you might not like the Heat magazine, and I don't care, because what I read is my business, what you read is your business. As long as it's not offensive, and it isn't. But I get this every week, and I'm not embarrassed at all. Don't worry me 2 hoots. I read other things, but if I didn't, it's nobody's business. But I can look delicious. Watch how I look delicious with the Heat magazine. Ooh. I'm often seen, you know, on trains reading, and I do make noises, I can't help it. People often think, oh God, not her again. She's got no idea of colours. Look at this. Look at the tone of her skin. Why is she wearing red? It's awful. And people gather. And those of you that made a face, let's draw you in, because there's a really juicy bit about David Beckham. It's lovely. This is juicy. Do you want to know what he did recently on his 40th birthday that Victoria says she'll never forgive him for doing it? Do you want to know? Buy it and you'll find out. And, you know, I don't care what any of you read, just look good with it. Because I don't care if you read the Trout and Salmon. It wouldn't worry me 2 hoots, as long as you love it. And do you know what's lovely? 16,000 people read that every month. Isn't that lovely? Every month you know that 16,000 people are reading, including a little boy in Skipton. Age 7, he came up to me and said, me and my dad get that magazine. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely? And I've got others to tempt you, because if the Trout and Salmon was too much for some of you, do you just want the Trout? Isn't it lovely, the Trout Monthly? I've got I didn't even know what a carp looked like, but aren't we lucky we're in a country with a crafty carp? And isn't that a whopper? It is. Look at the size of it. Look at his little face. He's ever so proud, isn't he? And if you like carp, I've got Carpology. Also, there's Carp Talk, if you want a bit more. Oh, look at the thickness of Carp World. Unfinished Big Carp, Advanced Carp, Total. And can you believe I found this at Christmas? I nearly wet my knickers. Maximum carp. Imagine 9 carp magazines. And don't get me onto buses. And don't get me onto buses. 11 bus magazines every month. One you don't have to wait a month. Double-decker fortnightly comes out every week. And one's called Coach and Bus. And if you don't like that title, you know, there's a bus and coach, isn't it? Just in case you want. Fab. Anybody want Fancy Fowl? If you love it, I don't care. Ferrets? No? Oh, now, just a second. This girl's... We're talking baskets and boxes. Oh, that gentleman there. Have you ever routed?
Routed.
Yes.
No.
Well, can I just say, don't miss the opportunity, because by the look on his face, you ought to have a go at it. It's enough to make you want to rout and jig right now. And then what you could have moved on to, sir, is Bookcase and Cabinet Monthly. Marvellous. Marvellous. This one's a bit scary. Oh, my God. This only came out this year, Man Cave Monthly. I thought, good God, 15 fantastic spaces for men to hang out. Well, you know. Anybody want to blow up a gravel pit? Lovely. It's a lovely feature this month. But I have saved my favourite to last. Earth Mover. But you know what's lovely? I realised the power, because I love diggers. I always have done. And so whenever I go into settings, I always take with me what I'm reading, a book or a magazine. And of course, I was like this, and the little boy said, what have you got? And I said, oh, nothing, it's just diggers. But we like diggers in this class. I said, do you? Then his friend was stood with him. We love diggers. And I said, do you want to see the MIDI muck shifter? Yes, you have to say that slowly. Yes, please. So, and they popped. And we found the MIDI muck shifter, and we found one in here called the Slap and Bang. It wallops poles, and isn't that lovely, the Slap and Banger? Well, of course, the teacher said, well, word has spread. Schools in North London are buying that magazine because the boys in particular love it. Now, what I'm saying to you then is, whatever you love reading, love it, but be seen. Be an advert so those children think, ooh, something comes over her. And I want to be like that. I want you to be a role model for reading. And I'll never forget, I've actually got the book here, look. I'll never forget lovely Miss Skedge. Now, Miss Skedge was one of my teachers. And she gave me a love of reading too, because she always used to come in with what she was reading like this. Morning, everyone. She used to smooth a book. And we just always wanted to say, what are you reading, Miss Skedge? And every day she told us where, and she said, oh, I've just got to, obviously if she was reading adult books, she toned it down a bit, but you know, oh, wow. And I love the way she opened a book. Wow, I've just got to this bit. It was lovely the way she just opened that book. And she used to always do this. I can see her now. Oh, it was lovely. But she made me think books were magical. And I want you to make children think that reading of every type, even the Heat magazine, is ooh. Should we practice that noise? Ooh. Ooh. No, some of them just go ooh. Ooh, come on, ooh. So, number one, I want you to be an advert for reading. Number two, I want you to help children discover what they love reading. And to do that, if you suddenly hear a child say, I like dinosaurs, you go, pardon? Did you say dinosaurs? Don't move, I'm going to find dinosaurs. So you search the school. The minute you hear a child, you don't mess about. Because what you're going to do is fuel their little fire. I want you to imagine every child you ever work with has got a fire of reading. How do you keep it alight? What fuel's got to go in there? I've just heard they want dinosaurs today. Feed them. If you hear them suddenly say, we love the Guinness Book of Records, you find everyone you can. If you suddenly discover they're a child that likes the word poo, bottom and pants, because they all do, you go for horrible histories or Captain Underpants. You find their passions and you feed it. And sometimes the fuel you've got to feed is a bit weird. There's a little girl in Norwich at this moment who is passionate at the age of 7. It's unbelievable, the Sugar Manufacturer's Monthly Magazine. Now, why? She reads it 10 times cover to cover every month. She adores it because her dad works for Tate and Lyle. And he was once in the magazine. There was a feature on him. Well, she adores it because it's like her dad's magazine. There's a little boy in Dublin. His grandma told me, she said, oh, do you know what my little grandson loves? Because her husband is a horse race trainer. He loves when you go to the races, you get a programme with all the horses' names. He's got hundreds. Now imagine his language, because if you think of all the lovely way that the horses' names, you know, his vocabulary is incredible. Whatever it takes, find their passions and fuel them. And can I just help you with one thing? Boys, by the way, on the whole, because they're different to girls, that's amazing, isn't it? They are. They're different to girls. They like factual books often more than fiction. So keep feeding them with factual. If it's some not every boy, but boys on the whole do enjoy factual books more. So look for them, because there's so many wonderful factual books out there. But then the third one, and the big one, is you've got to be performers, as I said. So 1, an advert, 2, find passions, 3, be a great performer. Now, I am going to read you a story in a minute, and I'm flipping good. This is the only thing in life I am good at. Look at me, I'm not athletic. You know, I'm not, I can tell I'm not athletic. I'm not artistic, I can't sing, I can't paint, but boy, can I tell a story. Now, why can I tell a story? Because I was lucky enough to have a trainer. But I want you to be the trainers of the children that you work with, because many of them won't be getting it at home. You're the next best. And so I'm going to read you a story, but I just want to share with you what a great moment looks like, because I had this amazing moment with a dad with a bath book, and I thought, if you can do it with a bath book, you can do it with anything. And I know when it happened, I was going through a bad patch. I was 40, and men, you too will, don't look at me like that. You too will hit 40 and it'll happen. It's already starting. I can sense it. Because what happens is you reach 40 and you still try to be 25. Only men do this, and they'll jet their hair like you've got the gel at the front there. They do, because they think I look younger. They do. And I went through this bad patch. The only time in my life I've got a bit silly, and I did the most ridiculous thing in Ibiza. And you're thinking, what the hell was he in Ibiza for? It's a very good question. I bought Speedos. Look at me, I bought Speedos. They were lime green, if you're wondering. But I bungee jumped from a suspension bridge. Look at me. Even the man taking the money said, I don't want you to do it. He was taking the money. And you're not supposed to hit the water, are you? I was concussed. I hit the gravel at the bottom. I went right through, dreadful. But do you know what I also had to do? And I want you to promise me you won't do this. I had a tattoo on my right buttock. Now, you're not going to, you haven't got one already, have you? Look at me. You haven't weakened. Don't! Because what you start off with, you're not going to end up with. Because I had a little tasteful butterfly, because that was the smallest thing you could do. It was all right. I can't show you unless we dim the lights. But you see, my skin is sagged, and now it's like a vampire bat down there. And it's no longer a butterfly. But during this sad phase, I did try and lose weight. And don't say a word, because someone said to me, if you swim, you'll lose weight. Well, yeah, the Atlantic. But anyway, I used to go at 7 o'clock in the morning so no one saw me, because in that, can I have an R? I didn't want to be seen. So I used to go, I was the only one in the pool at 7 o'clock apart from the flipping lifeguard. I hate lifeguards, because they're always fit, aren't they? And they look at you as you go by. So I used to go in the fast lane, you know the bit they sometimes rope off, because when you're on your own, you feel fast, because you're on the only one. I had speeders on, so I was skimming through the water. But suddenly out of the change room came a child, and I thought, ugh. Because I love children, but not at 7 o'clock in the morning. I love them by 8:15, all right? And she had a rubber ring, and it made her look cute, but it made you want to splash her. So I thought, I'm going to splash her and get her out. But I couldn't, because her dad came bounding out with a bath book. And I thought, for goodness sake, it should say bathroom. It's not a swimming pool book, is it? So I was horrible. Anyway, he gets in, he's towing her along, and he had a bath book the shape of a ladybird. And he started to tell her this story. Oh, God, it was brilliant. He said the ladybird had got measles and her spots had all fallen off. Well, I heard myself go, and I thought, this is good, so I'm going along gently near them, listening. And he said, we've got to find something, because the ladybirds have thrown her out of town because she's only a red beetle now. Well, I was heartbroken. And he turned the page over and there was a spotty fish, and he said, if we find one of those, it'll kiss the ladybird. Well, when he said, come on, look for the fish, I got caught up in it and I was looking. And then he said, blow kisses, it'll come. I blew at the lifeguard before I knew what I was doing. It was such a lovely moment, and I thought, oh, this is what I want every child to have. And I had a lovely chat with the dad. I said, look, I'm sorry I was listening. I said, you're really good. He went, am I? And I went, I was looking for fish. You're that good. And he said, oh, go and tell my wife she's watching. I said, oh my God, don't. I've got Speedos on. I had to get out the water, put my towel on, because she kept telling him his stories were stupid. So I went and said, they're not, they're brilliant. I do this for a job. She said, oh God. I said, no, he's brilliant. Please don't stop him. Well, that was magic. Every child deserves that. And so I'm going to read you a story, and then we're going to see the story sack. Only if you're good. Okay? So I'm going to read you a story. Now, the reason I'm reading you this story is because I'm going to give you 26 tips of how to hold children in the palm of your hands. Now, one little tip for you. When you start in your setting, please don't do story time at the end of the day. Why would you do a story when you're done in and so are the children? And what will happen to you, I see this all the time, you'll get to near the end of the day and you haven't left quite enough time. Right! Stop! And then they do this stupid thing. Stop! And everybody's got to put their hands in. Oh, promise me you won't do that. I hate it when they put fingers on their lips. Stop it! Stop! Stop! Look at the... Hurry! No, you can't go to the toilet. Wet yourself. Now sit down. Carpet, 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 carpet. Don't sit by him because you'll be silly. Go over there. Go over there. And then you think it's going to be a joy. And then you'll sit down at the end of the day like a chicken about to lay eggs. Right, no, come on. I'm going to sit down because it's been a long day. Oh, God. And you'll sit down with a noise like this. Oh, God. Right, let's have a story, shall we? No! You've got to be on fire. So do your story time mid-morning or half an hour after lunch. That's your best moments. Because story time begins magically, and you've got to be right up for it. So, here we go. Oh, by the way, one other thing. If I ever find out that you have read a story that you didn't read the day before, I will slap you. Oh, I see practitioners, oh God, that one will do. And then you read a naff story that nobody enjoys, not even you. You dare! You pick it up the day before and you read through it to make sure it's good enough. And you practice it. It takes 2 minutes. Don't you dare read a book cold. So, are you ready? Some of you are about to be more excited than you ever have been before. Now, Stevie, if anyone gets overexcited, okay, take them aside, push their head between their knees and make them breathe deeply and stop them from getting... They're going to get silly, I can sense it. So, get ready for a story you'll never forget. Do you want to know what this is? It's my favourite at the moment. I love it. And do you want to know why I love it? Because it's got a little mouse in it and he's got... In fact, hang on a minute. I want you to see the little mouse. He's so lovely before we start. Have a little peep. The minute you see him, you're going to love him. You ready? No. And do you know why I love him so much? Because he's got a hairy bottom. No, he has. Could you stroke it for me? Go on. Now, is that the hairiest bottom you've ever stroked?
It is,
I hope it is, I really do. And look at the size of the tail. It's a whopper, isn't it? And that lady there, you do not even know how many whiskers a real mouse has got, do you? 7 each side. 7 each side. And you don't even know the world record for one mummy mouse, do you? The baby she had in a year, 126. You didn't even know that mice can get pregnant every 3 weeks, did you? I know. It's unbelievable. And look at his little shy face. Wait till you see the other faces. One of them is going to be sick nearly. It's really good. And let's read the title together, shall we? Now sit up straight, everyone. Straight backs, because there's slouching going on at the back. Thank you. And we're going to read The Little Mouse, the Red Ripe Strawberry, and the Big Hungry Bear together. Ready? Go. The little mouse. Oh, he's gorgeous. The red ripe strawberry. Hands up, who likes strawberries? Yeah, but who likes raspberries? Yeah, but who likes raspberries more than strawberries? Yeah, but who don't even like strawberries or raspberries? There's something wrong with you. And the big hungry bear. Who? The big hungry bear. Don't shout it out, because what if there's a bear, I'm stopping, because he could be vicious. But we'll start. So here we go. Hello, little mouse. What are you doing? Oh, I see. Are you going to pick that red ripe strawberry? But, little mouse, haven't you heard about the big, hungry Should you go? Oh, that bear loves red ripe strawberries. Now, before I turn to the next page, because it's my favourite page, could you all pretend to be an electric toothbrush and vibrate? Can we? No, because it's exciting. So we're going to start... No, don't, because if you don't do it, you'll come up the front and we'll watch you do it. So we're going to start with a little throb and go full thrust. But you'll see why. Just do it for me. So with me. So gently. Gently. Now get quicker. Now go like hell. Go on, go on, go on, go on. So I want to vibrate. Look, it's a vibrating page. The big angry bear can smell a red ripe strawberry a mile away, especially one that's just been picked. Whoosh! I just heard something. What was that noise? Oh no. Who's on his way, everybody? It must be the...
Big hungry
Oh
bear.
no. Could you check for me, because I get really nervous. Can you see if... Get ready to run for it, everybody. Is there a bear there?
Yeah.
You're not even looking. Is there a bear?
No.
If you're lying, you'll never come on this. We can throw her off, can't we? She's like, there's nothing vicious. Promise?
Yeah.
Say promise.
Promise.
Say brown is honour. Were you a brownie? No, there's no good then, was it? No. It was him going bum, bum, bum as he tromped through the forest with his big hungry feet. I love that word, tromp. Shall we say it together, shall we? Go.
Tromp.
Ooh. Shall we have it as our word of the week? Just turn to someone, you know, a friend or someone in the street, and just say if you just tromped. And it's got a lovely ring to it, isn't it? So could you do a little tromp for us? That was a rather heavy one. Could you do a mouse's tromp? Could you do a ballerina's tromp? Could you do a giraffe's tromp? Ooh, obviously a tiny giraffe. But he'll tromp through the forest. Then that bear's going to sniff 3 times. You ready? Go. And he'll smell the strawberry. And once he's smelt the strawberry, it won't matter where it's hidden. Won't matter. It won't matter who's guarding it. It won't matter. It won't even matter, this is my favourite page, how it's disguised. It's brilliant, isn't it? You'd never know that was the mouse, would you? Isn't it brilliant? Quick! There's only one way in the whole wide world that we're going to save that red ripe strawberry. What should we do?
Eat
Eat it. No, he's cutting it in too. Why?
Share.
Oh, not with the bear. Oh no, could you look again? And this time look properly. Is there a bear there? Oh, there's blood. There's blood. He's killed the mouse, hasn't he?
No. No.
What's on the knife then?
No, there's nothing.
Strawberry juice.
Oh, strawberry.
Oh, I thought that was blood and he'd killed the mouse and ripped him open and all his gizzards were hanging out. Oh, look, he's not giving it the bear. He's sharing half with me. Oh, and look, we are going to eat it up, though. Yummy. And that will be one red ripe strawberry the big hungry bear will never get. Oh, hang on a minute. What if the bear's on the last pages? Could you look over there? Is there a bear? Nothing there, is there? Any of you, just look for goodness sake. There's nothing up a tree, is there? What about behind a rock? Promise? It's the little mouse. Look at his little tummy. He's had too much strawberry. He's got trapped wind. And he could tromp any moment. Uh-oh, you told fibs. What is that in the dark shadow? It could be a bear. Now, I just used 26 different techniques. Here they are quickly. Opening moments. Look at the way I'm moving. Building suspense. Look at the way I'm holding the book. And the noise I made was, ooh. Never, ever hold a book in front of children like this. Because look at this. That's just any old book, innit? Couldn't care less. But look at the difference between that and, oh. sometimes I even go, you know, it's precious. And then I told you it was one of my favourites, so the children will love it instantly because they know you love it. Then I drew you in by giving you a little peep, didn't I, of the mouse? I then just threw a few things in to warm you up about whiskers and babies. We looked at his face and I said, look for a different one when we start. Then we read the title together. So I was preparing you. I didn't start the story straight away. But the minute I did start, I did not hold the book like that. Because why? It's covering my face. Neither did I do what 99% of people try to do, look mentally ill by reading upside down. And then they start to read in slow motion. Oh, I see. No, you put the book there and you look across. Then the children can see, but they need to better see you. Because use this hand to paint. When I said strawberry, I went, good, big strawberry. When he climbed the ladder, I was doing that. When I said mouse, I was doing that. Use this hand to paint. And also use every inch of the book. Sometimes peep over, sometimes come under. If you're doing a shark story, come through. If you're doing owl babies, fly off when the mummy leaves them. When you're doing the Hungry Caterpillar, wiggle a bit. Use every inch of that book. Like when I had a vibration, I vibrated. Also, don't turn the pages rhythmically because you'll make everybody fall asleep. I'll do it. I hate this. Hello, little mouse. How are you? Oh, I see. You're going to pick that red ripe strawberry. And the children start to sway. If it's an exciting page, you go, yes! If it's a scary page, you peep underneath. Ooh. And on the last page, you finish with a flourish. This is how you finish. And that is the end of the story. Give it a big finale. Use every inch of it. Then all the way through the story, involve the children, but don't keep stopping the story. We did little tromps, but then we moved on. You sniffed, but then we moved on. I asked you questions, I got you to peep. So I was involving the children, but I kept the flow of the story all the way through. But the two big ones, and I'm going to see now whether you've got what it takes. The two big ones are face and voice. So could everybody loosen, because I can sense tension. This is when you're all going to let yourselves go, and if anybody goes all shy on me, I should screech at them. Okay? All I'm asking you to do when I say go is I want you to imagine you've got to a bit in the story and you need to look shocked. Okay? And so I'm going to give you a mark out of 10 for your shocked. Now, if you get 10, you're brilliant. If you get 1, you were obviously unconscious. Okay, so I'm going to say, so you're going to look shocked when I say go. Ready, steady, go. Okey-doke. Now, because I'm going to have to average between the best and the worst, I think we'll go for 2. 2. Because you know what most of you did? Shall I show you? And you tell me whether you think I look shocked. Was that shocked? Because that's what a lot of you did. Now, when you're telling a story, you have to imagine that a magnifying glass has come down and it exaggerates your face times about 3. So I'm going to show you a 10 out of 10 for shocked, right? Because it's not. This is ready. Ah! So we're now going to try again. Loosen. Ready, steady, go. Better. Now I'd like you all to look shy when some of you will do that well. Ready, look shy, go. Oh my God.
Still move.
I did not say neck ache. Why did you all just go? That's not shy. This is shy. Now shy people fiddle. So you don't do a little fiddle, you do a big fiddle, don't you? Then shy people fiddle with hair, like that. And then shy people put a finger in their mouth, but they do it sort of... So are you ready? With me? Now start to fiddle. Look upwards like this. Now twiddle your hair, fiddle your hair. Now finger in slowly, and look at... Better! Now the voice. Now I want you to hear a deadly voice. So can you say strawberry 10 times in the same way? Go.
Strawberry, 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 strawberry.
Stop. A dying wasp. Now we're going to show how you can use your voices. All right? Say strawberry. First of all, the loudest your voice will scream it. Just once. Go. Strawberry! Always one that's got to show off. Now the quietest your voice will go. Quieter. Right. Now the quickest it will go. That's exciting. Do it again. Now for suspense, do it slowly. I don't know what you were doing, but no, you misheard. I didn't say sensual. No, because he was doing it. Your eyebrows were going. They were flickering. I can see it. Now say strawberry. The deepest your voice will go. Strawberry. Highest. Strawberry. Well, you can all change your voice. Now you will know if you're good, because you will see a little face like that. You know, because they tell you if you're good. That's what you're trying to get. Or, there was a little boy in London, very sad, he'd come from such a troubled home life, bless his little heart, dear little boy, but going through hell. And the day I arrived to do story, his teacher said, "Oh, you're going to have to watch Gavin. He's having one of those really bad days." And she said, and he's got a word he's going to keep using, and it begins with "f." I thought, oh, crikey. So I went in and I said, "We're going to do story." And he said, "You can f." I went, "Oh, never mind, everybody, we're going to go out. Go on, f. I'm not fuffing having a fuffing story." And I said, "Okay, that's all right. You're not going to have to. I'm fuffing not, so don't fuffing think I'm fuffing out." So I said, "That's okay." So I said, "Class, I think we'll go outside for our story." So we all head for the bench. "Go on, fuffing off, fuffing off." Crikey. So we're having our story, and then suddenly I see his little face looking, because he thinks he's missing something. So bit by bit, attitude. Well, he must have changed his fuffing mind, because there he is, right in the middle. Look at his little face, loving every. So, if you're good, you can draw him in, even if they're having a fuffing. But of course, what you can also do is take it one step further. We're going to bring the story to life before your very eyes with our stories. So, don't look at the floor, because I will choose you. Now, you're the closest to red we've got. We haven't got any red, so could you come and be the strawberry, dear? That's it. Come on out. Come around the back of the table. Now, this is a deluxe Women's Institute one, and you can see they made a fab bag, which is lovely, because it is nice. What we used to do in our school, if we couldn't, make one that looked a bit like the topic, we often found fabrics, because you can find so many different fabrics that reflect what's in this. So, wait till you see the strawberry. Oh, it is gorgeous. Look. So could you be the strawberry, could you? And could the gentleman, could you come and be the little mouse? Because you've got a little mousy face.
Is it because I've got a grey coat?
Yeah, you match him. Look at the little, look. Come and be the little mouse. Come round the back there, don't be nervous. That's lovely. Then look, they put all the little props in a bag, and it's lovely where they found them. Pet shop, they found that. Then joke shop, they got the disguises. We spent our life in car boot sales. And Poundland is my idea of heaven. Poundland, we've got a 99p one in Swindon now. I nearly wet my knickers. Imagine a 99p shop. So could you be in charge of all the props? Could you? Come on out. Oh, and could you be in charge of scenery? Come on then, come out there. And just so you know, look, there's a mouse game that we found. And there's a CD in here, it's brilliant. Oh, it's exciting. So, let's clear the decks, so we've got plenty of space. Okay, let's clear all this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you here this morning to the Huddersfield Palladium. to a unique performance, one that you will never forget. And I'm delighted that I got 4 wonderful actresses and actors here today from the West End of London. They've come and giving up their time freely. Now, obviously, normally this would be 4 children, or possibly a mum, dad and their children, or possibly practitioners. It could be all sorts of combinations, but today we've got 4 of the finest actors. And I'm delighted to say that the mouse, our star, is being played by Kyle. Our co-star, the strawberry, is being played by
Paula.
And no less important, props and scenery. Right, put your scenery in position, stop messing about. Get your props out, put them on the table. No, one behind the other. It's a theatre. Right there, where we're going to be needed. That's it, put everything out. Just drop it, for goodness sake. Everything out, that's lovely. Right. Now, you 4, I want this spot on. If you do it beautifully, I'm going to give you a story sack each as a prize. No hope. So, here we go. Act 1, Scene 1, the strawberry field. Hello, little mouse, what are you doing? Oh, Kyle, I can't see my mouse waving. Get the ladder in. Now, Kyle, Strawberry, you're on. There's a glimpse of you in the corner. Now, Kyle, don't want to be critical, but you've all seen this, haven't you? That tail is sticky up, and Carl's, yours was floppy doppy, wasn't it?
Sorry,
it was. Oh, I see. Are you going to pick that? That's it, Kyle. Get the ladder on the strawberry. What's he doing? Flying? Kyle, tail. Tail's going floppy. Thank you. No. Are his feet in the rungs? They are, aren't they? Get the feet in the rungs, Kyle. Sticky up tail, ears down, and he's also looking towards the audience, Kyle. One leg's come out, Kyle. Strawberry, that's lovely, well done. Stiffen, sit good. Lovely. Now it's your vibration. No, Kyle, you're not mating with him. Especially one that's just been picked. No, don't do that with the tail. That's lovely. Ladder, hold the ladder. Oh, this is the boom boom with our feet. You ready with the boom boom? Go, everybody. Stop. Excuse me a second, everybody. You, and you. How many booms are there?
3.
Then why did you 3 do 13? 2 words come to mind: show and off. Right, get him on top of the strawberry. Spoon in hand. Where's the spoon? Get the ladder off. Tail round the front, ears down, Kyle. No one's poking up. That's it. Lovely. Now change of scenery. Scenery! We haven't got a key. Use the spoon. Kyle, use the spoon. Kyle, your tail's floppy. That's it. Now Kyle, he's got one leg up, hasn't he? No, that looks like he's weeing. Not marching. Oh, disguises. Get the chain off. Get the chain off. Quietly. Oh, Kyle, show everybody little mouse with his glasses. Kyle, tail. He's not flying. Get him
showing everybody.
Right, now under the tablecloth. Get the disguises off. Get the disguises off.
The table.
Now is he peeking out? No, his ears are not showing, are they, everybody? It's just his nose, Kyle. Now we can't see him at all, Kyle. Spoon, get the spoon off. Right, now this is a big moment. Strawberry, take the tablecloth, take off your stalk. Lovely. Now you're going to, Kyle, you're going to touch your hands. Ready?